We want to be that haven. We want to be that source of alternative information. We want to be a place where moms can discuss different choices and find a judgment-free zone. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is Kate. She is the owner, CEO of Earthley Wellness. Some of you may remember her from many, many years ago as Modern Alternative Mama.
In which you can almost so beautifully illustrate how dangerous and how depressingly scary these kinds of mentality can be, and how this pop culture fever of wanting to find some new or natural or alternative way to deal with modern problems can lead to some disastrous situations. So let's just jump right in. It starts off with his first post, and this is from Modern Alternative Mama. Somehow the baby seems to have hurt his arm. I really have no idea how, and he uses it fine if he's sitting to play, but he will not crawl with it. He scoots on his butt using the other arm. And the first person obviously is trying to do the best that they can, take him to the ER. And babies do suffer injuries quite often. Might want to get checked. Littles that age can break their arm and you don't even know it. And another person that thinks that she should take the child to the doctor. Again, he has no redness, swelling, or other signs of injury. He'll let me touch it, move it, gently squeeze it. He uses the hand fine, just seems odd. We'll probably see the chiro tomorrow and ask what to do then. Now keep in mind, this is on March 5th. That somehow her baby, her infant, has hurt his arm and is obviously in distress, so she's going to go see her chiropractor tomorrow. Still, there is no evaluation of what is actually happening to the kid. Now on March 12th, no improvement in Nathan's arm, so we are at urgent care to check on it. Later that day, March 12th, my poor little man's arm is broken. Tries to advise people in safe ways to do things that are outside of the medical norm. And if there is no clearer example of how negligent she is of her own parenting, it's in the fact that she allowed her child to go a week with a broken arm and no medical treatment whatsoever. Why is anyone looking at this page? Why does anyone pay attention to Modern Alternative Mama? Why? Because it's a fad. It's a fad that people want to just embrace something different because they're sold fear constantly by people who are trying to make money off of them. Modern Alternative Mama makes bank. She makes bank by claiming she knows what she's talking about, saying these are horrible people. They're horrible people, and they're not just putting you and your children's lives at risk. They're leaving their own children with broken arms for a week.
It appears that Jeff Holiday was right and Modern Alternative Mama is dangerous. Hello everyone, how are you all doing today? Today I am interrupting my usual programming to bring you this video on Kate, Modern Alternative Mama, so stay tuned if you want to hear what she's been up to. Modern Alternative Mama, raising natural, healthy families. This is the About page of modernalternativemama.com. Welcome to Modern Alternative Mama. Ma'am is a safe space where mothers gather, share information, and think together. We believe in moms. We know that they do what is best for their families because they are the ones who do the research, make the choices, and who simply care the most about many of these areas. Of course, dads are welcome too. Moms, especially those who make alternative choices, are really in a unique position right now. Our society isn't kind to people who step outside the boundaries of normal, and moms often feel like what they're doing isn't quite right, but that they don't have access to the information and support that they need to do what they do feel is right. We want to be that haven. We want to be that source of alternative information. We want to be a place where moms can discuss different choices and find a judgment-free zone. We're all on a journey, and all of our choices and lives look a little bit different. Our goal is to empower moms with information and support. Whatever they choose is something we support. Welcome. Hi, I'm Kate. I love medical freedom, sharing natural remedies, developing real food recipes, and gentle parenting. My goal is to teach you how to live your life free from big pharma, big food, and big government by learning about herbs, cooking, and sustainable practices. I'm the author of Natural Remedies for Kids. Yep, you read that right, Queen. And the owner and lead herbalist at Earthley. I hope you'll join me on the journey to a free and healthy life. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is Kate. She is the owner, CEO of Earthley Wellness. Some of you may remember her from many years ago as Modern Alternative Mama. Some people seem to think she just disappeared. However, she has been running this website and opening up multi-level marketing companies that she's claiming is an affiliate program in order to make the big bucks, providing natural, healthy remedies and alternative medicine practices to families everywhere. You go to the health section, all there is vaccines. What do you see here? Well, this. A script for dealing with doctors that coerce you to vaccinate. Oh my God. How dare they? How dare they want to protect our kids? Vaccine injury is not neurodiversity. What's acute flaccid myelitis really all about? Anti-vaxxers are bringing back disease. Or are they? Yeah. They are, Kate. They are. How to get a vaccine exemption and why you should. A bunch of balooey, by the way. Why common and normal are not the same. Instead of doing real vaccine studies, they're doing this. So as you can see, it's a lot of fear mongering in terms of vaccinations. So Kate is very anti-vax. And yes, Kaiser Permanente created a 38-page document on how to deal with parents who don't vaccinate. They've now done this entire script for dealing with doctors when, they're trying to apparently coerce you to vaccinate. Because doctors are increasingly being given this script, we're going to teach you a script on how to combat this type of propaganda. How to recognize the script. First, let's learn how to recognize when this is being used on you. This strategy has 4 parts to it. Part 1, cognitive ease. Part 2, natural assumption. Part 3, identity strategy. Part 4, advantageous terms. Cognitive ease means don't engage the parent's brain or ask them to think through their decision. In fact, specifically avoid making them think critically because they're more likely to just agree if they aren't really thinking. Natural assumption means stating that the child will be getting vaccines. For example, it's time for little Timmy's vaccine today, so I'll go ahead and order them. Don't ask the parent if they want them. Don't leave room for disagreements. Just make assumptions. Identity strategy means try to tell the parents that they clearly want to be a part of a group called Good Parents. That's a group? Like, where do I sign up and join that? Is that on Facebook? That good parents protect their children via vaccination. This is why the pro-vaccine effort in my area is called Project Love. Sounds lovely, actually. This is an incredibly important part of their strategy. They want you to feel belonging to this group of good parents who vaccinate. Again, like, where do I sign up for that? Advantageous terms means that they will repeat key phrases like protect your baby to manipulate you and make it seem most beneficial to vaccinate. I know, who would ever want to protect their baby unless a bunch of people are just brainwashing you to make you think that you should? In addition to these 4 points, they also recommend an emotional appeal where you tell scary stories about babies who get very sick or die from diseases. You mean like the scary stories you guys talk about of babies that get bad reactions from vaccines? You don't see the... Anyway, they recommend avoiding answering direct questions or concerns and instead trying to convince parents that they're on the same page with wanting to protect the baby. Oh no! They also recommend using the term protein instead of antigen to discuss vaccine ingredients because it sounds more benign. Plus, they say to only address the antigen load of the vaccines and ignore all the other ingredients, even though antigen load is rarely a concern. No, you seem to keep bringing it up. They even recommend comparing vaccines to homeopathy and calling them natural. Basically, they don't want to have an honest discussion. They don't want to answer your questions. They don't want you to give informed consent. Their only goal is to convince you to vaccinate, and if they do, to praise you for making the right decision. Why it works. Parents are often worried about doing the right things and keeping their baby healthy and safe. Such awful people. There are a lot of conflicting pieces of advice flying around about everything. Plus, mom's hormones are all over the place. She's probably sleep deprived, and she is a very fragile place. Kate, grammar check. When someone is in a vulnerable emotional state, they're not thinking at a higher level, engaging in critical thinking. They're making decisions based on gut feelings and beliefs, while people's minds can be changed over time by facts if their original decision was fact-based to begin with. It is easier to simply manipulate them. I feel like that is your plan, not ours. It's true that emotion can't be countered with fact, and it's often true that new parents are at the very beginning of their vaccine research or have only heard a few things and haven't really dived in. They are vulnerable to being manipulated because their beliefs aren't firm yet and aren't grounded in actual information. Doctors are counting on this. Yes, the doctors. The doctors are counting on people being uneducated, trying to protect their kids with vaccines. How dare they? People also naturally want to feel a sense of belonging. Yeah, we're doing it to all be cool. They want to feel understood, accepted, and they want to be praised. So you think that like when we get our babies vaccines, we walk out into the parking lot and there's just a whole group of mothers there going, yeah, woo, good job getting that baby vaxxed, yeah, woo. What do you think happens? They don't want to be looked down upon or thought of as doing the wrong thing, especially if that wrong thing could place their child at risk. When you say that, doctors are preying on this. Yeah, they're the ones preying on this. They are trying to make you feel like they're on your team even when they're actually narcissistically manipulating you. They want to pretend to hear your concerns while plotting their next move. They want to give you their approval from their position of authority over you. Dealing with my authority! Here's how to deal with this. I'm sorry, it's funny. A script for dealing with doctors that coerce you to vaccinate. First, take a deep breath. Okay, everybody with me now. You are not the first parent to deal with this, with the stupidity of anti-vaxxers, and you will sadly not be the last. I know, it's unfortunately. There are some things to remember before you even go to the doctor's visit. The doctor is not an authority figure. Doctors position themselves as a type of authority in our lives. They tell us we have to take our babies in for well visits and we have to follow medical advice. But in reality, we don't. We can and should use our brains and make our own medical decisions.
If there is no clearer example of how negligent she is of her own parenting, it's in the fact that she allowed her child to go a week with a broken arm and no medical treatment whatsoever.
You can also fire any doctor who is not respectful of your role in medical care and find a new one who is. You have every right to say no. Now, I'm a smart bitch, but I am not smart enough to make the medical decisions for my child without a doctor, damn it, and neither is Kate. You do not have to please anyone. It may feel very uncomfortable to have the doctor and or nurse frowning at you, telling you scary stories, or even yelling at you. Really? They may cry or beg or plead with you. Really? But the doctor's comfort and personal feelings are not your responsibility. You are not seeing the doctor to please him or her, and she or he shouldn't be asking this of you. What if it's a trans doctor, Kate? It's okay if the doctor is unhappy with you or upset after your visit. It's like worried about you trying to, not prevent illnesses in your child. Bring along an advocate. If you are feeling especially, does Kate go along to these? Just wondering. If you are feeling especially vulnerable, either at this point in your life or because you're not a confrontational person, take along an advocate who has no problem saying no. Who means no. They can stand up for you and remind you of what you had planned before the visit. They can help you engage your brain and think critically when the doctor is trying to prevent you from doing so. You don't have to make a decision today. Vaccinating is not now or never. If you feel bullied, worried, and unsure about your decision, simply say not now. You should not make a decision based on fear or manipulation. You can always decide to vaccinate later, but you can't take it back. Don't give in. Wait until you feel truly comfortable. It's just, a window that each vaccine is supposed to be given for ultimate protection of the child, but don't worry about that or nothing. An example conversation. Once you head into the doctor's visit, be prepared for the conversation that is going to happen. Be ready to call out the doctor's manipulative techniques for what they are and let them know that you will be a partner in your child's health care, or you'll find someone else who treats you with respect and as a true partner. Doctor. Hello, Mrs. Cleaver. It's good to see you today. And how is baby Victory doing? Really, Victory? Mrs. Cleaver.
She's doing great. Just here today to get her weighed, measured, and make sure she's on track developmentally.
Set your expectations right away. Don't mention shots. Great. That's what we're here for. It's also time for Victory's 2-month immunizations. I'll just call the nurse real quick and have her get that tray ready. It's not what, anyway.
No, thank you. We aren't doing vaccines today. We are just here for a quick checkup.
Oh, was there a specific concern or question you had that I could answer quickly?
No.
No is a complete sentence. You are not getting into an argument. It will not change anyone's mind and will waste both your time. Well, a lot of my patients are concerned about things they read on the internet. Listen, don't worry about that stuff. What matters is that Victory is protected. The best protection we have is vaccines. I wouldn't want anything to happen to her, and I know you wouldn't either.
I agree. I want her to be healthy and safe. Let's move on to her checkup.
Not rise to the manipulation of protection or threats against the baby's safety. Do not engage. Ask to move on. I will certainly do that checkup. I just want you to know that before vaccines were available, my colleagues often watched babies dying of these horrible diseases, and I would just feel so terrible if anything happened to Victory. Please consider getting at least one vaccination today. Any delay means a delay in protection. It's not how they die. Anyway.
Doctor, I am not here to discuss vaccines. I have made my decision, and I do not appreciate you attempting to use emotional manipulation on me to try to sway me. I make decisions based on facts and science. If you can't respect me enough not to coerce me, I will have to find another doctor. Are you calling the manager?
At this point, it could easily go two ways. Option 1. Oh, I'm sorry, Mrs. Cleaver. I just feel so strongly about vaccines. Let's table this discussion for now and have a look at Victory.
Great, she's ready for her exam.
Option B. How could you accuse me of manipulation? I only care about Victory's health and safety. You need to vaccinate, both for her safety and for the safety of the general public. It's irresponsible and selfish of you to refuse this life-saving protection for her. In my practice, I do not allow people who refuse to vaccinate.
We will be leaving immediately, and I will be filing a complaint with the medical board for your unprofessional, rude behavior. Are you calling the manager?
You cannot continue to bully parents like this. Storms out of the office. Dissecting what just happened. What? We had a little bit of fun with some writing improv? The doctor's manipulation script assumes you won't know what's happening and will respond to the techniques. In this script, you know what's about to happen and are prepared to avoid being manipulated. They say as they manipulate parents into being anti-vax. Don't give the doctor an opening to argue. Try to avoid the topic altogether. The doctor's goal is to normalize vaccinating and to make not vaccinating seem like a risky choice. It is. But you do not have to let the doctor play the offense and force you to play the defense. Some may say, why not just answer with your concerns when the doctor asks? If the doctor were seriously asking and not trying to manipulate you, then honestly discussing your concerns and having a look at the facts would be a good thing. So then, why don't you do it, sis? But if the doctor is trying to manipulate you, then this just opens the door to more ways for him or her to deal with you. Because it's hard to know the doctor's intentions, and most doctors are being trained to manipulate in this manner today. It's better to just avoid the conversation. How so? Most doctors also don't have all the facts, but Kate does, and aren't going to share both sides with you anyway. But Kate does. They will only share cherry-picked facts from their side. The bottom line. Ultimate decision to vaccinate or not should not be based on fear. It shouldn't be based on emotional manipulation. It should be based on you writing down all your questions and then seeking science-based answers to those questions. Yes, science-based. Keyword. Only when you feel that you have all the knowledge and you are totally comfortable with your decision should you make one. Anyone who wants you to abdicate that responsibility, stop asking questions, and do what you're told is not on your side. Which is funny because here the person had a chance to talk to the doctor about all their concerns, and then they just didn't in order to avoid vaccinating. So no, they do not consider you an intelligent person, okay? Nor a partner in your child's health care, okay? They see you as a parent to be dealt with. How do you know? I suggest not continuing to employ such a doctor, of course, and looking for one who has actual respect for you or who's okay with you being anti-vax is what she really means. Also has a no-nonsense guide where she basically talks about all of the issues with vaccines. I have this guide sitting in my email right now, and I'm not going to go through the entire thing in this video because it would be crazy long, but I am going to be doing a future video where we are actually going to be going through, well, what what Kate says we should be doing about vaccines. It's very, very interesting. Another thing that you should know about Kate is that she also advocates that people not wear masks, although she is more careful with this. So instead, she does it in ways where she'll do something like this: where to order real food, no mask required. She has an entire section that she calls the real food area, and it is very much just a recipe area. I have no problem with her doing all natural recipes. That is probably the least crazy thing that Kate does, let's be honest. The only issue I have is how she kind of promotes going out and shopping with no mask required because of the state of our world right now. It also has this whole thing where she believes in gentle parenting, which again, I don't have any issue with you not spanking your kids, but it gets to be a little bit much. Again, we should be raising culturally and racially sensitive kids. I don't have a problem with that one. Where we kind of get to some issues is 10 non-candy Easter basket ideas. You might want to just let kids be kids, but again, that's your prerogative. If you don't want your kids eating candy, there's worse things you could be doing out here again. Now, again, I don't have any issues with that. The one issue I have is where we get to some things like this. How to do a preconception cleanse. Start planning for adding a baby to your life. Your diet is not usually the first thing you think about, but in today's world, we are swimming in toxins, and if you don't detox, then your baby will be too. If possible, it's important to start getting ready at least 6 months and even a year or longer before conceiving by detoxing and preparing your diet to support a healthy pregnancy. And what she does is she says why you need a preconception cleanse. The Environmental Working Group has found 232 toxins in newborns' umbilical cords, plastics including PCBs, PFCs, and other toxins in 99% of newborns' umbilical blood. In a study of 10 newborns, lead, mercury, and PCBs were found in every single one's cord, and a woman's nutritional status really does affect her pregnancy, birth, and a newborn's health. No matter how healthy you eat, it's a good idea to detoxify before conceiving. And here's how. Now, the thing about this is that this has been talked about before, where the levels are so tiny that it really doesn't do any harm. And so it's also been talked about a lot out here about how detoxing is a sham. Okay, you don't need to be doing these detoxing things. And if you're familiar with the anti-MLM content that I make, we have to talk about health and wellness companies and how they're only kind of making these products to make money. That's what this is here. No matter how healthy you eat, that's the thing. If you eat super duper healthy, you would think you wouldn't need to do a detox. Just saying. And it says how to do a preconception cleanse. When detoxing, you always want to start with the bottom and go up. So begin with cleansing your colon, then move on to your other organs and end with a stellar diet. Start doing a colon cleanse. Add a daily colon detox regimen of 1 cup of water with the juice of half of a lemon, a pinch of sea salt, and a drop or 2 of honey. Then move to your kidney and liver. During this time, consume raw liver or pasteurized liver pills. Yeah, raw liver. Just, eat that. Supplement milk thistle and add 1 fresh pressed organic juice per day. Add cilantro to remove heavy metals, a liver tincture, and a homeopathic kidney and liver cleanse. Is also against episiotomies, and she has actually been outed in the past for being someone that is kind of cruel to those that get one. And so I just wanted to kind of show you on here. She does do a lot of these like pregnancy advice things, but a lot of it again is some alternative medicine. And she's obviously even done some PR here as the natural birth community shaming women. If you look into it, you will see that yes, they're bad for shaming women. Once again, just to refresh your memory, this is Earthley Wellness. It is the MLM company that Kate is trying to pretend is an affiliate program. When you sign up for this, there are 7 tiers that you can join onto or you can move up with as long as you sign people up underneath you and you are selling the products off of the website. Everything to do with this is in MLM fashion. The only thing is you don't have to pay a fee when you sign up, but we have seen MLMs in the past that are free to sign up for. But then you have to get a starter kit or you at least have to get the products and do attraction marketing. And that is what this one runs on. So as you can see, she sells a whole lot of these all natural products. And it's funny to me because a lot of the stuff that she does on here, guys, is actual like herbal remedies. So you have to think that she's out here and she's got this whole web page dedicated to teaching parents how to do alternative medicine mothering. And then she has also opened up this company in which she sells these like gut health packets and energy plus herbs and oils and extracts and even some magnesium good night lotion, all this kind of stuff, right? Not to mention nutritional support. No, we don't get along. We've already done this. See the last video to see how that turned out. And as you can see, she does sell a greens powder. So all of this is just to kind of like get you to sign up and buy her Earthley Wellness products. She's always kind of been someone that has tried to make a living off of this whole modern alternative medicine thing.
Bad.
It also has a really big Facebook following. She has about over 70,000 people following her on Facebook, where she often posts about, modern alternative medicine, her anti-vax rhetoric, her alternative parenting practices, and of course, Earthley Wellness, the MLM. It, of course, is at facebook.com/modernalternativemama. And she posts things on here that are like, I want to be clear that I do not agree with mandates. Everyone has the right to decide what they want to do with their bodies. But if this was truly about health, why not mandate things that will actually benefit our health? If it's really about health, mandate vitamin D. And then you'll see the Earthley down there at the bottom. Here we have some parenting stuff on behalf of Earthley Wellness now. So now Earthley Wellness, well, because it's run by Modern Alternative Mama, but now Earthley Wellness, guys, is giving like advice on how to parent. It's just creepy to me. And as you can see, she does a lot of kind of like anti-drug posts. I want to know in the comments down below, tell me what you guys think about this. So she posted this on January 19th this year. Leaky gut is another term that has become more widely known recently, and with good reason. It's become a major health issue for people of all ages as our diets have become less nutrient dense and our mental stress levels have risen. Do you deal with any of these issues? Have you ever worked on gut health before? Then you will see it says, did you know leaky gut can be associated with autism spectrum disorders, histamine intolerance, ADHD and other behavioral disorders, skin issues like eczema and psoriasis, malabsorption issues where the body doesn't properly use the nutrients you get from your food, and small intestinal bacteria overgrowth, autoimmune conditions. So now she is trying to market all of her gut health products that we kind of saw there on the Earthley Wellness site just a little bit ago. She sells these like gut health packets to people with these disorders, and to me that's worrisome. I really don't think, like, please, if you have any of this, do not go to Kate for help with this. Go to your doctor. Go to your doctor, not Modern Alternative Mama. It's horrifying me, the fact that this woman is trying to use her platform and give people medical advice. Okay? She's all about medical freedom, and it's just really scary to me. You know, like, something like this seems very innocent, where it's like you or your little one comes down with a cold. What is your natural go-to remedy? You know, like honey and lemon with some hot water in a cup. That's what we use here. You know, like, there's nothing wrong with doing that, for example. But my issue is then she also has down here that it's Earthley Wellness. And as we know, Earthley Wellness is an MLM that sells a whole bunch of these all natural supplements and stuff. So my thing is, she's kind of promoting for them to also be used on children, and we all know I got a big issue with companies promoting that stuff onto kids. Something like this can be kind of dangerous, where it says the craziest cold remedy you've tried that worked, and then there's of course the Earthley Wellness tag in the top. Now she seems to be really against allopathic, right? She is all about the holistic medicine. So she's been speaking out against that. Here she is with an anti-vax post that says, have you ever had a doctor discuss the risks associated with a vaccine prior to administering it? Earthley. We have a homemade electrolyte drink, get some Gatorade and call it a day, girl. And here we have the whole issue with Bill Gates, of course, because you know that Modern Alternative Mama thinks that whole thing's a thing, you know. Anyway, who here is as qualified as or more qualified than Bill Gates to give out health advice? Bill Gates is not a doctor, virologist, or epidemiologist. He didn't even finish college. He's actually completely unqualified to make anyone's medical decisions or give any health advice. Who here is just as or more qualified than Bill Gates to give health advice? If you go down the comments below, it's just a bunch of anti-vax, like, nurses, unfortunately, and people that, you know, should not be promoting that we don't get vaccinated. Let's just say that. Now we have things like, what does FDA approved mean to you? Literally nothing. If anything, makes me question the product ingredients more. You know, like, that is really worrisome, especially when we have this Modern Alternative Mama Kate here, you know, promoting products that are supposed to be supplements and also promoting healthy food, and they don't have any respect for the Food and Drug Administration. You know, like, that's also for food, sis. It's just worrisome to me. Yes, Kate, Modern Alternative Mama, herbalist, author, advocate, CEO of Earthley Wellness. This is her. This is what she has been doing on the internet for the last several years. You may have seen the Jeff Holiday video I showed at the very beginning of this. He did that video in 2014 where he said that, you know, she could potentially be a dangerous person. So now I'm going to leave it up to all of you guys. What do you think? Have we hit that point? Did Jeff Holiday call it? Did he call it? Is she now a dangerous person? Should we be paying closer attention to Kate here and Earthley Wellness as an anti-MLM platform who is against, you know, pseudoscience and the anti-vax community? What do you guys want to hear more about with this story? And do you think she is dangerous? This is her guide, what to do about vaccines. And let me know down in the comments. I think that we should be going through this in a future video, probably in about a week or so. Just go through the whole thing and we'll have some fun with that, because this is really, really worrisome to me that she has a parent's guide to the vaccine controversy, but when you read through it, you'll see she's anti-vax and giving out the wrong advice to parents when their children could be put into danger is just never a good thing. And, you saw she might not be the person that you should be taking any advice from out there, okay? Especially you fellow parents out there. Be careful who you take your advice from. So we are going to be going through this in future. And no matter where you are, what you're doing, I hope that you have a fabulous, fabulous day. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one. And please, please, vaccinate your kids, guys. Don't listen to this crap.
Why is anyone looking at this page? Why does anyone pay attention to Modern Alternative Mama?
Fuck you, Kate.
These are horrible people.
Fuck you, Kate.
They're horrible people, and they're not just putting you and your children's lives at risk.
Fuck you, Kate.
They're leaving their own children with broken arms for a week.
Fuck you, Kate.
Someone tell these motherfuckers I'm just getting started. Now fuck with the drama. I'm trying to fuck up some commas. I'd rather make me some dollars. I'm doing good, just like my karma. Two-face, I can't trust that. You spare lies, I state facts. Heard your songs, they all whack. Telling these rappers to fall back. I just keep making the music. I never making excuses. I gotta keep myself focused. The rest of y'all niggas is useless. Drop a song, they want more. Gotta give them what they ask for. On the road to success, dog. I ain't taking no detour. Focus only on the positive. Everything else is irrelevant. Didn't want to see me blow up. Now they all gotta deal with it. Trying to take care of my fam though. I need that money unlimited. The lifestyle that you rap about, we all know you ain't living it. I just keep giving that quality. That's why you rappers ain't qualified. I just been changing the whole vibe. I ain't stopping till I'm satisfied. Join the game on beast mode. No help, no cheat code. Headshot, then I reload. Catch me all in the kill zone. They say this was the ending. It's only the beginning. Watch me get away with murder, about to make a killing. I ain't stopping, I ain't quitting, I ain't giving up for nothing. Someone come and tell these motherfuckers I'm just getting started. I'm just getting started. It's only the beginning. Someone tell these motherfuckers I'm just getting